In the age of Kali, api also, yatha, in which manner? Shrinu, please hear. Translation. O king, in this way, people in Dwapar Yug worship the Lord of the universe. In Kali Yug, they also worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead by the regulations of the revealed scriptures. Kindly now hear of that from me. Purport. This verse is spoken by Saint Karabhajana in Srimad Bhagavatam 11.5.31. Hare Krishna. This is one of a very important verses. So I will read each line, and if devotees, you could please chant it together. Krishna Varnam Tvisha Krishnam
Krishna Varnam Tvisha Krishnam
Sangopanga Parshadam
Sangopashapadam
Yagnai Sankirtana Prayer
Yajnai
Yajna
Sankirtana
Sankirtana
Praye
Praya
Yajanti Hi Sumedasa
Yajandihi
Yajanti
Sumedasaha
Sumedasa
Krishna Varnam Tvisha Krishnam
Krishna
Krishnavarnam Tvisha
Varnam Tvisha
Krishnam
Krishnam
Angopangastra Parshadam
Sangopanga Shrapashadam
Yagnai Sankirtana Prayer
Yajnai
Yajna
Sankirtana
Sankirtana
Praye
Praya
Yajanti Hi Sumedasa
Yajandihi
Yajanti
Sumedasaha
Sumedasa
Krishna Varnam Tvisha Krishnam
Krishna
Krishnavarnam
Varnam
Tvisha
Tvisha
Krishnam
Krishnam
Angopangastra Parshadam
Sangopangastra Parshadam
Sangopangastrapasadam
Yagnai Sankirtana Prayer
Yajna Sankirtana Praye
Yajanti Hi Sumedasa.
Yajandihi
Yajanti
Sumedasaha
Sumedasa.
Synonyms, translation, and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami. Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Synonyms, Krishna Varnam, repeating the syllables Krishna. Tvisha, with a luster. Krishnam, not black, golden. Sangha, along with associates. Upanga, servitors. Astra, weapons. Parshadam, confidential companions. Yajnai, by sacrifice. Sankirtana Praye, consisting chiefly of congregational chanting. Yajanti, they worship. He, certainly. Sumedasaha, intelligent persons. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada ki jai. In the age of Kali, intelligent persons perform congregational chanting to worship the incarnation of Godhead, who constantly sings the name of Krishna. Although his complexion is not blackish, he is Krishna himself. He is accompanied by his associates, servants, weapons, and confidential companions. Purport. I will request devotees if you could read each paragraph, if someone would like to go first. It's a pretty long purport. So if someone would like to volunteer and read the first paragraph, please.
I can go.
Yeah, please.
This text is from Srimad Bhagavatam 11.5.32. Srila Jiva Goswami has explained this verse in his commentary on the Bhagavatam known as Krama Sandarbha, wherein he says that Lord Krishna also appears with a golden complexion. That golden Lord Krishna is Lord Chaitanya, who is worshipped by intelligent men in this age. This is confirmed in Srimad Bhagavatam by Garga Muni, who said that although the child Krishna was blackish, he also appears in three other colors, red, white, and yellow. He exhibited his white and red complexions in the Satya and Treta ages respectively. He did not exhibit the remaining color, yellow gold, until he appeared as Lord Chaitanya, who is known as Gaurahari. Hare Krishna.
Someone please read the next para.
I will do, Prabhuji.
Please go ahead.
Yeah. Shiva Jiva Goswami. Srila Jiva Goswami explains that Krishna Varnam means Sri Krishna Chaitanya. Krishna Varna and Krishna Chaitanya are equivalent. The name Krishna appears with both Lord Krishna and Lord Chaitanya Krishna. Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but he always engages in the describing Krishna and thus enjoying transcendental bliss by chanting and remembering his name and form. Lord Krishna himself appears as a Lord Chaitanya, to preach the highest gospel.
Thank you, Mataji.
Hare.
Anybody else would like to read who hasn't read? Okay, I'll read. Lord Chaitanya always chants the holy name of Krishna and describes it also. And because he is Krishna himself, whoever meets him will automatically chant the holy name of Krishna and later describe it to others. He injects one with transcendental Krishna consciousness, which merges the chanter in transcendental bliss. In all respects, therefore, he appears before everyone as Krishna, either by personality or by sound. Simply by seeing Lord Chaitanya, one at once remembers Lord Krishna. One may therefore accept him as Vishnu Tattva. In other words, Lord Chaitanya is Lord Krishna himself. Would someone like to read the next one? Satyabhama Mata or Sachirani or Prabhu?
Okay, Prabhuji, I can go.
Please.
Sangopangasta Parshadam further indicates that the Lord Chaitanya is Lord Krishna. His body is always decorated with ornaments of sandalwood and with sandalwood paste. By his super excellent beauty, he subdues all the people of the age. In the other descent, the Lord sometimes used weapons to defeat the demonic, but in this age, the Lord subdued them with his all attractive figure as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Srila Goswami explains that his beauty is his astra or weapon to subdue the demons. Because he is all attractive, it is to be understood that all the demigods lived with him as his companions. His acts were uncommon and his associates wonderful. When he propagated the Sankirtan movement, he attracted many great scholars and acharyas, especially in Bengal and Orissa. Lord Chaitanya is always accompanied by his best associates like Lord Nityananda, Advaita, Gadadhara, and Srivas. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. Sachirani, you'd like to go for the next?
Yeah, sure. Srila Jiva Goswami cites a verse from the Vedic literature which says that there is no necessity of performing sacrificial demonstrations or ceremonial functions. He comments that instead of engaging in such external pompous exhibitions, all people, regardless of caste, color, or creed, can assemble together and chant Hare Krishna to worship Lord Chaitanya. Krishna Varnam Twiskarna,
Oh,
Twiskarnam indicates that prominence should be given to the name of Krishna. Lord Chaitanya taught Krishna consciousness and chanted the name of Krishna. Therefore, to worship Lord Chaitanya, everyone should chant the Maha Mantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. To propagate worship in churches, temples, or mosques is not possible because people have lost interest in that. But anywhere and everywhere, people can chant Hare Krishna. Thus, worshipping Lord Chaitanya, they can perform the highest activity and fulfill the highest religious purpose of satisfying the Supreme Lord.
thank you. Anybody who hasn't read would like to read the last verse? Last paragraph, I'm sorry.
Sri Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, a famous disciple of Lord Chaitanya, said, "The principle of transcendental devotional service having been lost, Sri Krishna Chaitanya has appeared in order to deliver again the process of devotion. He is so kind that he is distributing love of Krishna. Everyone should be attracted more and more to his lotus feet as humming bees are attracted to a lotus flower. Hare
Thank you,
Krishna.
Mataji. So we will chant the Mangala Charan prayer. If you know it, please chant alongside with me. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरुन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातां सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्णकरुणासिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्त राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तुते तप्तकाञ्चन गौरङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरि वृष्णभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वञ्चकल्पातरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः नम ॐ विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन् इति नामिने नामस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे Hare Krishna. So I was preparing for this class. It's 7:20, so another 25 minutes or so, 25-30 minutes. We'll cover the essence of these three verses and then leave some time for question answers, realizations. So as I was preparing for this, in one way, I'm pretty fortunate, so to say, that my work is about half an hour away from where I live, and I drive down to work. And my entire life in the US, for the most part, I would say, I have lived literally 5 minutes from the office, maybe even walking distance from the office. And in one way, it is great. You don't get the commute. And one time I was working in Boston, so I used to leave Monday morning. I used to drive down 5.5 hours and come back Friday evening, 5.5 hours long drive. Anyway, so now that this drive, it's long, but as they say, in every dark cloud, there's a silver lining. So one may say the commute, the traffic, and all that, it can get pretty exhausting. But that is my alone time to listen to um, katha, lectures primarily by my Gurudev, His Holiness Radhanath Swami. And of course, there are other Vaishnavas also. I get to listen. And there's not much distraction when you're driving in the car. Your only attention is the road. So that way I find that, whatever we are listening to and whatever we have listened to, there is some correlation. So devotees, today on my way back from work, I was listening to this lecture and Radhanath Swami was saying that whatever we are doing in Krishna consciousness, the primary purpose is to please Krishna. That is what our primary purpose is. Whether we are listening to Katha, whether we are sharing Krishna consciousness, we are cooking bhoga, whether we are honoring prasadam, we are leading kirtan, whatever, you're cleaning the toilet, whatever, doesn't matter. You're on the altar, whatever it is, the intent is to please Krishna. That is the intent, and that is the purpose of life. And this whole society, ISKCON, Krishna consciousness, is for us to understand what is our purpose of life. Now it comes to Chaitanya Charitamrita and how, based on Chaitanya Charitamrita, based on Mahaprabhu, how this whole society, how the whole Vaishnav sect has come about, and how it is the perfect method of what is your goal in life. Goal in life is to please Krishna. Of course, some say the goal of life is to go back to Godhead, but one can't go back to Godhead without having pleased Guru and without pleasing Guru and Krishna. Hare Krishna. So very quickly, we'll do an overview of Chaitanya Charitamrita. It's just a revision. You already know it. So Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is the author of Chaitanya Charitamrita, and he has written this based on the notes of Raghunath, Srila Raghunath Goswami, and whatever were the teachings of Swarup Damodar Goswami and Rupa Goswami. So, based on these authorities and their personal relationship with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, this is what Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami has compiled. Hare Krishna. Now, the book is in three sections. The first one is Adi Lila, which we are currently reading. Adi Lila establishes whatever is the philosophical and the theological foundation of Chaitanya Charitamrita, and in fact, the reality, whatever is the truth, that is the philosophical and theological foundation. Then, on top of that, is built Mahaprabhu's teachings and his pastimes in Jagannath Puri. So this is Madhya Leela. And then the final Antya Leela is the climax where Mahaprabhu's inner mood. So first Adi Leela is his external reason. And in fact, this 3.52 discusses his external reason. And then Antya Leela is where he gets to the topmost bhava, the ecstasy of Radharani. That is where it is. Now, why is Chaitanya Charitamrita so unique? Because two things. One is it blends whatever is the Gaudiya philosophy, right? Tattva, whatever is the reality. Tattva means the truth, reality. Whatever is the reality with a lot of sweet pastimes. So it's not just pastimes, but how that pastime connects with the Tattva. Hare Krishna. So this is the beauty of Chaitanya Charitamrita. Now we come to chapter 3 of Adi Leela. Now, chapter 3 primarily is talking about the external reasons for Mahaprabhu's appearance. Hare Krishna. So there's internal reason and there is external reason. Now, there is twofold cause, correct? The internal reason is to taste Radharani's love. What is it? Krishna is wondering, what is it there in me which gives Radharani so much pleasure? What is that pleasure? What is she tasting? He wants to experience that. So that is the internal reason. And external reason, he has come here to inaugurate the Yuga Dharma, which is the congregational chanting of the holy names, known as the Sankirta Yajna. Now, what we can see is in the age of Kali, and all of us, there's not a single one of us who hasn't experienced up close and personal, the condition of Kali, hypocrisy, quarrel, anxiety. Very recently, India and her neighbor, Pakistan, went to a war, correct? It was for a few days, but before that, there were these terrorist attacks. So if you see every corner of the world, there is something or the other which is happening. Disturbances, disturbances which are man-made, disturbances which are from nature. So we know that, right? The three causes of misery, Adidaivik, Adibhautik, Adhyatmik. So all these things we can understand that Kali Yuga, and it's getting more and more, how do you say, intense. Like when we were kids, like most of us here are in their middle age, so to speak, married, perhaps with grown children. Now we know when we were children, we went to school, we never even heard of something called school shooting. We never even heard that in kindergarten, kids, I was so shocked and sad to hear that parents in the backpack of kindergartners are putting metal plates so that if there's a shooting, the child can use it and hopefully not get. Just think about this. In a span of a few decades, this is what has, this is what is the condition. So Kali Yuga is a miserable state to be. And in all this misery, we are looking to find some kind of a happiness somewhere. And these flickering senses of happiness, we're running here and there. Today it is this, tomorrow it is that. We're jumping from one flickering attraction of some happiness, and then it gives us temporary pleasure, no satisfaction. That's why we jump onto the next thing, and always in pursuit of this happiness, which is forever elusive. So, in this age of Kali Yuga, Hare Krishna, this age of Kali Yuga, it is described in the Shastras that for every age, what is the condition, what is the uh, problem, and then what is the solution. So, in this deteriorated, Kali Yuga is the most deteriorated condition. In this condition, the medicine or the solution, permanent solution, is chanting of the holy name. Now, if we look at it, when we are chanting the Sankirtan, it's really very, very simple. Very simple. Now, if we look at the previous yugas, in the Satyug, it was through deep meditation. People had terrific lifespans, people had terrific memories, they had terrific capacities, capabilities, they had terrific resources available. And all this would help them steady mind. They would help them to concentrate. So through meditation, they could achieve perfection. Then the next age, it started getting a little more degraded. So then you had these different processes that was through sacrifices, yajna, all the opulence, etc., required was available. Then the next was through elaborate deity worship in the temples. Now, in this yuga, nothing is available. So it's made very simple, very, very simple. So if you can think about it, is when a person is giving an examination. Now, if a person is giving a dissertation on his PhD thesis, it takes so much work, it's so intense. The people who are where he's giving the exam, where he's being examined, is so difficult to do so, right? But he has that capacity, the intellectual capacities he has. So accordingly, but if you ask an examination for a little kid in kindergarten, if you were to benchmark, for him to pass the examination, they can't have it at that level of the PhD. He's bound to fail. So it's something very, very simple. Very simple. It has been totally simplified. Perfection of life has been made most simple. So much so that even the demigods in the higher planetary systems, they wish to come here on planet Earth and get involved in the congregation chanting of the holy name because it is so simple. Hare Krishna. So, in the Bhagavatam, what is that remedy? It is given. Now, one is, of course, over here, it talks about Mahaprabhu and his purpose. The Bhagavatam talks about it is 12, Canto 12, third chapter, 51st verse. Harir Nam eva kevalam, kalav nasti eva nasti eva gatir anyata. In this age of Kali, there is no other way, no other way, no other way except the chanting of the holy name. So, this is what Prabhupada, ISKCON, Gaudiya Vaishnavas have been teaching, that Nam Sankirtana, chanting of the holy name, is the highest dharma for everybody. Simple, direct, and extremely potent. Just these words, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Just these 16 words is enough. Nothing else is required. It contains everything, all the powers of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is invested in these names, Hare Krishna. So, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu hasn't started something new. Whatever is the eternal dharma, Savai Pumsa Paro Dharma, Yato Bhakti Radhokshaje, Ahituki Apratihata, Yatmi Suprasiddhati. The supreme occupation, the supreme dharma for the living entity is chanting of the holy name. That's the supreme, topmost. We have so many duties, we have so many responsibilities, obligation, but the topmost is this. And it is not a function of our body. When we acquire a body, we get certain responsibilities. I'm a father, I'm a husband, I'm a brother, I'm a son. So many responsibilities we get when we acquire this body at different stages of our life. I'm a work professional. I have work responsibilities. I'm a citizen. I have citizenry responsibilities of a citizen. So many. But all that becomes zero and void when the soul leaves the body. Finished. No more relations, nothing else. However, this dharma, the function of the soul, which is eternal, that dharma is bhakti. And in this age, bhakti is so easily attainable. Bhakti is a process where the supreme controller becomes controlled. Think about it. The supreme controller gets controlled by the love of his devotees. So, bhakti is not something ordinary. So, with bhakti, the supreme bhakti, that process so simplified is just through the chanting of the holy name, Hare Krishna. So, we discussed Satyug meditation, Treta sacrifice, Dwapar deity worship, and Kali Yuga, the chanting of the holy name. So, chanting is not something which is optional, dear devotees. Chanting is the way, and it's the only way. Someone may want to say, oh, through worship, deity worship, I'll do this, I'll do that. That's not enough. Chanting is the way, it is the only way. Now, someone may ask, oh, then why are we doing deity worship? Because right now we aren't at that stage where we haven't developed the prema stage. So, whatever we are doing, the do's, the don'ts, is a manner of disciplining ourselves, is a manner to get more and more away from sense gratification and engage body, mind, words in service of Krishna. As I started the class, is for the pleasure of Krishna. We are not at that stage where it happens spontaneously because we are conditioned for so many lifetimes to only please ourselves. So all these vidhis, all these rituals, all the regulations, no eating meat, four regulations, no onion, garlic, whatever. It is to discipline. It is to discipline the mind. It is to discipline the body. It's kind of a detox. So if those of you who understand addiction or who have worked with addicts, whatever, alcohol or narcotics or drugs or whatever it is, the body has a physical dependence on that substance. And when the substance is removed, people get physically sick. And there is a period of time that's called detoxification because all the toxins is in the body. It takes a while to remove it. So physically, all that chemical takes a while to be flushed out. But then more importantly, even the psychological needs to be retrained, the psychology. Similarly, that's our condition. We think we are not addicted to anything. But all of us are addicted to sense gratification. For I, me, myself. So all these processes that we are doing is a detox to sense gratification and bring us to our original position. No one is born an addict. People become addict because of the circumstances and the company, etc., etc., etc. So similarly, we have acquired this body, material body, because of the whatever other actions, etc., etc. Now we need to get away from this bodily platform and exist and do words, thoughts, deeds on a spiritual platform. And that is why all these do's and don'ts are necessary. It is basically transforming from one state to a higher state. Hare Krishna. So for this particular verse, 3.52. So here, if we take each word, Krishna Varnam, so he describes and chants the name of Krishna. Who is it? Mahaprabhu. What is he doing? He is chanting all the time. Tvisha Krishnam, his appearance, he's not dark. Krishna is dark, original, Sham Sundar. Yeah, he's dark. But in Kali Yuga, he comes as Krishnam. Tvisha Krishnam, not dark. He comes in a golden form. Of course, there's another understanding, a higher understanding that golden form is the mood. He's infused by the mood of Radharani, his internal reason. So he takes his thing. I was reading up very interesting. You know, there are things called chameleon. If you know, it's a reptile, chameleon, and chameleon can whatever is the surrounding, it can assume that particular color. So if it is on the bark of a tree, the chameleon skin becomes the bark of the tree. If it is in all the leaves, it becomes a leaf. It is amongst surrounded by red flowers, it will become red flowers. And it is fantastic. Out of curiosity, I started, why? How does this work? And then they explain, my God, it has certain pigments on one layer. The underlayer is what reflects light, and below there are three layers. I forget what it is. But then it is so wonderful, just this thing about chameleon, and it's not just on its surroundings where it has a camouflage to protect itself from predators, dear devotees, but also based on his mood. Based on the mood, the chameleon's color can change. Fantastic. This is what Mother Nature is. This is what Mother Nature is. And this Mother Nature, so much of intelligence is behind that. Just this little reptile, chameleon, if we see it, how fantastic it is if we see and try to understand. And where does all this come from? Fluke. Did all this happen from Big Bang? Where is that intelligence to put all this together? It is mind boggling that there is some intelligence behind all this. And this, just by understanding, looking at things around us, we can feel the presence of Krishna. Krishna is not just in the temples, Krishna is not just in the deities. Just everyday things that we see around us, if we just take a moment, not take it for granted, but just be more reflective and meditative on it. And it can show, they say his hand is everywhere. And similarly, dear devotees, Mahaprabhu came and just through sound, when we are chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, he is there personally. Hare Krishna. So, Sangopangastra Parshadam, surrounded by his associates. Like, so he's always, whenever Krishna comes, he never comes alone. He comes with his entire entourage, paraphernalia, everything, all come together. Nityanand, in this Lila, Nityanand, Advaitacharya, Gadadhar, Shrivas, so many of his Yajna Sankirtana Praya. The yajna in this age is Sankirtana. And then finally, Sumedasaha. Only intelligent people recognize and worship Mahaprabhu. Otherwise, there are so many. People worship stones, people worship humans, fallible humans, are posing themselves to be God. There have been so many gods all throughout history. There have been, there are, and there will be fallible. So, all these different types of gods or whatever there is. But a person who is intelligent will recognize and worship what is real. As they say, it is only a jeweler who understands what a diamond is and what the value of that diamond is. In this lecture today, my Gurudev was saying, there was a very poor man. This is Prabhupada in one of his class had given this story. There was a very poor man, and all he would do is collect walnuts little bit here, there, and he would use a stone to break the walnut, remove whatever is the thing inside, and he would sell it for a few pesos. It was just meager, very, very meager. And this was his job. He would go around collecting walnut, break it with a stone, remove that, sell it, get money, and feed his stomach. This is what. Now, this man got a priceless diamond, crores and crores and crores of rupees, meaning tens and millions of dollars. He got a diamond. Diamond is a very hard substance. He doesn't know the value of that diamond. And what does he do with that diamond? He takes that diamond and he goes back to breaking the walnut, removing it, and selling the walnut for a few pieces of paise. This is our condition. We are that pauper. Our condition is we've got this priceless form of human body. Human body is where one can go back to Godhead. Priceless. What are we using it for? We are using it for sense gratification. So this body is like a diamond, all the human intelligence, whatever. And we are using it like breaking how that stone, we are using it to go and gratify our senses instead of using all our faculties, whether it is physical, mental, whatever, in pleasing Krishna. So in this way, we are big paupers. And even after listening to all this, for those of us who are lucky enough, for those of us who are lucky enough, we are told, oh, this is a diamond. Now we are told that that man doesn't know, the pauper doesn't know it's a diamond. But now we are told, oh, what you have is a diamond. Please make proper use of it. In spite of that, we are struggling. In spite of that, we are struggling. So, dear devotees, this is what our condition is. And when we chant the Maha Mantra, chant it. And if we chant it even sincerely, we attempt to chant it sincerely, then instead of using that diamond to break walnut, our whole life, our whole purpose, we can use it in a better manner. The value it will bring us, this body of ours, this material body of us, these material senses of ours, this material mind of ours will help us transform to a higher level of consciousness. Hare Krishna. So, what what is, if we bring all this together, what is the teachings and what is the understanding? So one is Krishna is Shri Krishna Chaitanya is no other than Krishna himself, the Supreme. He's not an avatar, he's the avatari. He's the same exact Krishna, right? Krishna has weapons. Krishna has his uh, disc, Sudarshan disc, right? Krishna has a weapon to kill. Krishna has killed demons. He has killed Kamsa. He has killed so many uh, demons in his pastimes, right? Krishna kills. However, what is Mahaprabhu's weapon? He's Krishna, so he should have a weapon. His weapon is his beauty. When we see Mahaprabhu, what does a weapon do? A weapon disarms. A weapon disarms you. So when Anyone sees Mahaprabhu, just his beauty disarms the person completely. What is the teaching of Bhagavad Gita? Sarva dharman parityaja. Abandon everything, all varieties. Simply surrender to me. So Mahaprabhu's beauty is at such a level, just looking at that person, all you're completely disarmed. Whatever we have. Now, of course, we see Mahaprabhu in his Archa Vigraha form in the temple. Why isn't it that I am completely disarmed? Why haven't I just developed the love of God by just looking at Mahaprabhu? That is because we don't want to. A person who is humble, a person who is meek, he would be very easily just taking the darshan itself. He would be able to, uh, like, what is that pastime of the illiterate Brahmana was reading in Mahaprabhu's pastime in South India. He was reading the Bhagavad Gita with completely broken verses, didn't know pronunciation, and everyone would laugh at him. But reading it would give him so much ecstasy that he would have tears, tears and tears of joy. And Mahaprabhu said, "Why are you doing? Everyone is making fun of you." He says, "My Guru Maharaj ordered me to read this every day. So I'm simply following his order." So he says, "Why are you crying?" Well, look at this, so beautiful. Krishna, who's the supreme personality of Godhead, millions and millions, countless people are waiting in line to serve him. And here he becomes the servant, Parthasarthi, of his friend Arjuna, his devotee Arjuna. He's the chariot driver. In war, you don't even have time to speak, go left, go right. So the Yuddha, the warrior, is kicking. Imagine he's kicking the chariot driver. He'll kick him on the right side, left side, whatever. So there's no time to do that also, to say. So he takes that humble, lowly position. How great is Krishna? Mahaprabhu embraced him. He says, "You understood." Now, if you look at it, what is this? What is this illiterate, so-called illiterate Brahmana? What was his qualification? He simply accepted the instruction of his Guru Maharaj as his life and soul. He did not say, "Oh, why is it this? Why I don't know how to read? How am I being given this task? It is beyond my capacity. And whilst I'm doing it, everyone is teasing me, everyone is insulting me. I don't even know how to chant the mantras properly. I can't even read properly." No, his Guru Maharaj gave him the instruction and he followed it. There was no if and buts. He just did it. And in such a mood, one gets all the realization and one develops love of God. So humility and obedience. When these two things come, then whatever is our addiction to this material sense gratification, we start developing a higher taste, and that's when realizations start happening. Hare Krishna. So, so this is what it is. And finally, the point that Prabhupada has made here is Nam Sankirtana. Literally, nobody is disqualified. Nobody. Anyone and everyone, irrespective of your caste, creed, background, what you have done, what you haven't done, you're the biggest sinner or you're the most holy man, and everyone in between, doesn't matter. You're old, you're young, it doesn't matter who you are. Everyone can participate. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. We have a couple of minutes. It's 7:53. There's 5-6 minutes. If someone has a realization or a question, you could please unmute and ask. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Thank you so much for wonderful class as usual.
Jai Prabhupada.
Yeah, you were mentioning about you were listening Guru Maharaj's lecture, like Radhanath Swami's lecture while driving. So it's really nice, Prabhuji, when we are driving and listening lecture to Guru Maharaj or Srila Prabhupada. Nowadays, I am listening Srila Prabhupada's lectures in Hindi. And I feel so, I laugh a lot. Like when he talks like in Hindi, it's right, very nice. मतलब ऐसे है कि डांट एकदम प्रॉम्प्ट आंसर और डांटने का तो एकदम इजी इट्स रियली नाइस जस्ट वांटेड टू शेयर दैट वेरी नाइस लेक्चर्स इन हिंदी and I just started since last month every time when I am driving I just put Srila Prabhupada's lecture so that reminded me and very nicely explained Prabhuji everything all the points uh, beautiful thank you so much Prabhuji.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you for sharing. Very good. If nobody has any question or a comment or realization to share, we can bring it to a close. Simeshwar Prabhu, over to you.
Hare Krishna Boji. Thank you so much. Wonderful class. Very nice. Good examples. The point is Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who the personality is revealing so nicely in this chapter. So thank you so much for nicely explaining. Anybody else has anything to add? Any other comments? Okay. So thank you. Let's conclude then today's section. Let's chant together. Vancha kalpatarupasya. Vidana pavanebhyo. Vaishnavibhyo namo namaha. Krishna Vranda ki jai. Vandana Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Ananta Gaudi Vaishnava Vranda ki jai. Gaurav Krishna. Hari
Hari
Hari.
Hari Bol.
Hari Hari Bol.
Please join tomorrow. We'll continue this Chaitanya Charitamrita for some time. Also in between, Jagannath Ratha Yatra, Jagannath Snana Yatra is coming on June 11th, June 10th. Yatra is on 14th. Then we have Atlantic City Ratha Yatra, that's on 28th.
It's on 26th on Thursday and 28th Saturday we have
City Ratha Yatra. And then 15th is our Snana Yatra celebration. Okay, somebody is speaking something? Hare Krishna. Okay. Okay, thank you so much, dear devotees. Thank you, Amritananda Prabhu. Thank you all, dear devotees, for joining. So, please, Hare Krishna, Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.